Welcome back to digital class, and now we're looking at the volume of cubes and volume of cuboid. So what is important here is that regardless as cube or cuboid, the key idea here is the same, that in order to calculate the volume, we must use the length times the breadth times the height. Now some of you might call it as a width or whatever, but it doesn't really matter, okay? But it's length, breadth, and height. And that three part basically are here, and here. Okay, of course, if you choose here, it's the same, right? So here, and here. That will be the three important parts for you to multiply and get the volume. So in this case, volume of cube. But teacher, I only know what is here. I don't know what is here and here. Hello, this is what? This is a cube. So I know that all of these will be the same. In this case, 7 cm. So here will also be 7 cm. Here will also be 7 cm. So what you can write, you can actually write as 7 cube. And 7 cube means what? It does not mean 7 times 3. No, that is not. But that means 7 times 7 times 7. And you can just get your calculator and put it on, and you should get 343. And in this case, it will be in cm cube. Again, cm cube. Got the idea? So let me give you another example. If I have another cube, I say this is a cube, and I tell you, aha, the one on the side here, example, is 3 cm. Then it will be what? It will be 3 cube, 3 times 3 times 3, and that will be 27. And this is in what? Cm cube. Okay, so far so good. That is basically the two examples I can give you. But again, what is important is this does not mean 3 times 3, does not mean 3 times 3. This does not mean 7 times 3. This basically means that I multiply myself for 3 times. That's why 3 times 3 times 3. Okay? But teacher, I feel like I'm a bit confusing. Can I choose not to write this? Can. If you don't want to write this, it's okay. But again, this is an important knowledge that you should learn, because you definitely need to use this skill or this term when you slowly progress to secondary school. Okay, this is some basic math terms that you need to see. Okay, so you must learn actually. Okay, now let's look at the second one. How about volume of cuboid? The same thing. Volume of cuboid is the length and the breadth times the height. So it's just basically 13 times 7 times 2. You can just get your calculator and you just multiply, and you should get 182. And again, this will be in cm cube. Teacher, why cube? Because you multiply 3 different items, right? That's why 1, 2, 3, that gives you cube. Okay, so something simple, nothing tricky, that's it. Now, what I have shown you the example is that I'm giving you the length, breadth, the height. Then you need to find the volume. But sometimes when you do question like this, they will actually give you the volume and ask for the what? The length. Okay, so for example, I have this cube. I have this cube, and I tell you, aha, this is a cube, and the volume is, example, maybe 64 cm cube, and you are asked to find what is the height in cm, of course. Now, in that case, then what do you do? Now, again, I have seen just like the area, when you need to do reverse to find the side. Again, the key idea that we know is that cube is this times this times this, and these three are the same thing. So what you can do is you can use, again, take out your calculator, and you should see a sign called something like this. What is this called? This is called cube root. Cube root means that I need to cube root 64. And if you press on your calculator, you should get what? You should get 4. And yes, that is basically the answer, 4 cm. But teacher, what does this actually do? This cube root is actually reminding us that 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 64. Do you get the idea? because there's 3 here, right? That's why I put cube root. Just like the square root. Again, some of you have learned square root. Square root, example, square root 16. What does square root 16 tells you? The answer is 4, because 4 times 4 is 16. The same thing works here. Okay? So, again, this cube root can only be used in the scenario of cube. Can I use it in cuboid? No. Why? Because these 3 sides are not the same. Cube means that all these sides are the same. That's why you can use cube root. Okay? Now, let's look at the second example. But now we are looking at probably again cube. Maybe I tell you, this is a cube. The volume maybe now is 8 cm cube. But if it's 8 cm cube, means that what times what times what should gives you 8. And this reading must be the same. Again, I probably know that you are able to guess the answer. But the formal way of writing, please learn, because you will use it definitely in secondary school, is so you need to use cube root 8. And cube root 8 gives you what? It gives you 2. And I know that the side is actually 2 cm. That's it. You are done for the example here. Okay, I hope you get the idea. Please write this down so that you know what to write. Now, let me give, let's move on to the cuboid. Now, for example, I have a cuboid. Maybe not that nice. I'll just simply draw like this. Okay. Now, I tell you that this side is 12 cm. I tell you that this side is 5 cm. But I don't tell you what is the height. But I tell you this is a cuboid. And the volume given to you is 240 cm cube. Now, how do you find the height? Again, what we do, we reverse. How do we reverse? We know that 12 times 5 times here gives you 240. So if I want to find the height, basically I would just divide. 240 divide by 12 divide by 5. Of course, you can use calculator. If you can do mental math, that's good. And your answer is supposed to be 4 cm. And that's it. So the answer here is what? 4 cm. Okay? But teacher, what if the question, example, I give you the same question. I tell you, here is 5 cm. Teacher, I know here is 4 cm. Then how do I find here if the volume is still 240 cm cube? Yeah, it works the same way. 240 divided by 5 divided by 4. Find out the answer, and you find out is what? It's still 12 cm. It's exactly here 12, here 12. You get the idea. No matter is it missing length, the breadth, or the height, it will still be the same. Good. Okay, I believe it's kind of clear. And from here, you will see some of the questions here. What is the volume of the cube if it's given 5 cm? What is the volume of the cuboid? Cuboid. Yeah, this is reverse. Now I'm giving you the volume. You need to find the height. I'm giving you the volume. You need to find the length. Now you might see some question looks like this, and this question is actually something very similar to part A, where you see some of the question that looks like this, the one in the boxes, something like this. But of course, these questions will be so much easier. Now, I'm not giving you what is the length here, what is the length here, what is the length here, but you need to find out how many cm is it. But how? Again, take note of the word 1 cm cube. This is 1 cm, 2, which is here, 3, 4, 5, and you need to count yourself how many cubes are there. That basically means how many cm are there. You find here how many cm, how many cm, how many cm, then you multiply and find the volume. Okay? Okay, I think this is kind of clear. let me just remove this word. This is not supposed to be cubicle, but it should be a container. Okay, sounds good. Okay, then you write out the answer here. Okay, and next part you probably will see some harder question. Now this quick challenge is very important. Please take some time, go and try it out using Shifulo. Again, you know the Shifulo AI chatbot that I've built for you guys to try out. Find out what is the things that you notice here. When all the sites here are being double, when I say all the site means here 2 cm, 2 cm, 2 cm, right? Double will be what? 4, 4, 4. Then what happened to the volume here? Okay, this is a very important trick. If you know this, some of this question will be much easier. Okay, now I'll just stop here and I hope you learned something that is something that's very important. Please challenge the level 3 question. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.